New York Knicks have managed to create one of the most successful current franchises in the NBA. Now, how did this happen? How did a team with a mediocre Julius Randle, who they traded for from the Lakers, become an NBA contender and one of the favorites to win the 2023 NBA championship? Well, that's exactly what I'm going to be breaking down in today's video. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Really understand the full backstory behind this New York Knicks team, you have to go back all the way to 2017. This team back in 2017 was extremely bad, even with Carmelo Anthony on it. In fact, they had Carmelo, Kristaps, and a pretty young D-Rose. And this team just sucked. It was absolutely garbage. They only won a total of 31 games, and they finished 12th in the Eastern Conference, which was, at the time, 4 games out of the playoffs. The season after that, they made a huge move, and that is trading Carmelo Anthony. For that, they got a few young players, but no one really good. If you look down this roster, the only player that's relevant in the NBA right now is Kristaps, and I guess you could say Tim Hardaway Jr. They only won 29 games this year, which was 3 less than last year. And this roster, it was bad, but it wasn't even that bad, which is why it took the NBA by surprise when in the 2018-19 season, they only won 17 games and finished 15th in the Eastern Conference. They had not a young DeAndre Jordan, but a 30-year-old DeAndre Jordan. They also had a first-year Mitchell Robinson, Frank Ntilikina, bro, I don't even know how to say his name, and they still had Tim Hardaway Jr., a very bad team, and they didn't even do much better the next season, where they only won 21 games. However, the team did substantially improve, and this is when you start seeing familiar faces all around. Here you have RJ Barrett, Kevin Knox, Julius Randle, and Mitchell Robinson, along with Bobby Porter. Now, the 2020-21 New York Knicks is when they really started picking up steam. They won 41 games, with RJ Barrett being a complete stud, and Quickly and Randle stepping their game up to unheard of levels. Now, this is where, in the offseason, they made a little signing for a point guard. Not one who was regarded as an extremely good player, but he was a backup to Luka. I am, of course, talking about Jalen Brunson. Yeah, I cannot get the name off the top of my head for some reason, but Jalen Brunson was absolutely insane, and he has been. They've been going absolutely off with him, and he has just been so good for them. This season, they are currently 5th in the East, which for a team that is so good is very just not surprising, but relieving. I mean, Julius Randle, Jalen Brunson, Mitchell Robinson, Evan Fournier, Hart, Josh Hart, Quentin Grimes, Miles McBride, all the players like that, and of course RJ Barrett. But this is when the twist comes, because just a few weeks ago, and this is when I'm going to get to the bulk of the video, so stick around, but just a few weeks ago, they traded away RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickly, and a few picks for OG Anunoby. Now, people didn't really think that this was an upgrade, and that's because OG Anunoby is not good on offense. And the NBA is a league that just cares the most about offense. But one thing that people didn't factor in is that OG Anunoby is a phenomenal defender. He is seriously one of the best defenders in the entire league. He is locked down on the perimeter and interior, and he is such a positive player because since the Knicks got him, they've only lost a single game. This season for them, he isn't averaging crazy numbers, only 15 points and 4 rebounds. but his player efficiency rating is 12.8, and his win shares are 2.1, which basically means that the Knicks getting him added an average of 2.1 wins to their roster. But I would actually argue that it gives them a lot more than 2.1 wins, because since then, he seems to have brought up the team morale. I mean, look, a good team can play well, but if they're not playing together, they'll never be great. And being great is what you need to win an NBA championship, which seems to be what the Knicks are going for this year. OG Anunoby, since joining, has had multiple 3+ steal games, and since he's joined, both Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson have been going off. And when I say off, I mean like off, because they've had multiple games where they combined for 80, 70, and 60 points. And by multiple, I mean 7. OG Anunoby has only been on the team for 10 games. And yes, you can fact check that stat if you want to. Just like this video after you fact check it, because it's true. And I just dropped a complete fact on you. It's honestly crazy how much OG Anunoby is impacting winning on this roster. I mean, look, there is not much else that the Knicks can do. Trade rumors have them packaging Evan Fournier, Jacob Toppin, and a few first-round picks to get an upgrade at the small forward or shooting guard position after they did, of course, trade away Emmanuel Quickley and RJ Barrett. But honestly, if they are able to do that, this is one of the most complete teams in the entire league. They have a ton of great offense. Their defense is phenomenal, one of the best in the league ever since OG has joined the team. And they just work so well together. That's one thing that's vastly underrated, and you just can't see in the box score. The box score is never an accurate representation of games, because someone can have a +10, but when they're on the court, everyone is breaking their shots from the opposing team. OG Anunoby, even after I just said that box score isn't that important, has a box plus minus of, believe it or not, +235. This is in 10 games, by the way. This means that he is basically single-handedly carrying the Knicks to not an NBA championship, but the NBA playoffs at the very least. And an NBA championship might be soon underway. For more on that, click my latest upload, which is popping up on screen right now.